see it.
Okay, we're back. Hopefully, we all enjoy Shang-Chi. And today, I was actually prepared to record something different, but then I watched an episode of something for fear that a coworker was going to call me in the middle of the movie. And yeah, I'm actually really digging Swap Shop Dash for Cash. So let's watch season 1, episode 2. It's on Netflix. Um, yeah, I'm gonna do a count down from 5. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Side note, because I did mean to keep up. In case you can't tell, I watch a lot, especially when I'm working from home. And recently, my wife and I, like the other day, we caught up with Chucky. It is really good. Anyway, we're watching Swap Shop right now. And there is a lady with interesting glasses. Like when you buy those glasses, you're making a statement. You know what you're saying. You're saying, I could be special. Watch how you talk to me. You're a military brat? You look like your dad was in prison, not the military. It's weird how people rebel against military stuff. Like, oh, I was raised with order, so now I look like a circus clown. I had a friend, Josh. His father was in the military, and when he retired, he basically refused to shave his face ever again because he had to. I'll never understand that. My dad retired. He did not do that. He liked being shaved. But some people are just like, I live my life with rules, now never again. I will wet myself in public when I want. What a scary looking room you have there. It is odd that we don't allow taxidermy on humans. But we'll see, because when my grandma dies, she will be stuffed and in a corner that greets people when they enter my home. She doesn't know that yet. Yeah, your room there looks like the place where people die. Like, when you see my room, you'll never see anything else again. Are you ready to go in? No, 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 no. Let me go fly in a hot air balloon first. They're in Tennessee, in case you can't tell. The whole crux of this show is there's this old timey radio show that's been happening forever. And people like use that radio show like the internet almost. So I call in and I go, hey, I'm selling a really old toy. Here's my address. Come see me. And then everybody in the town floods over to come make a bid on my old toy. That dude looks like the dude you'd expect to be hunting for antiques in Tennessee. And where are you? This is why I'm so glad I live in this city. Just the thought. I'm from Virginia. I have been to places that look like this. It's never a comfortable feeling as a black man. Even if they're nice, it's like, you're nice, but is somebody slashing my tires while I'm in here? Somebody putting some sugar in my tank so my car breaks down 2 miles down the road? You see what she grabbed. She was in a rush, but she's like, first, let me get this fucking stuffed beaver. You a Gothic Irishman? Gothic Celtic person? Celtic Gothic person. There we go. I think Celtic Gothic sounds better. Clowns aren't creepy. What is wrong with everybody? That's creepy. What is that? A two-headed fucking... it's not a mythological creature. They used to think chupacabras were something that didn't exist. They're just like Spanish dogs because they actually do exist in like Mexico or something. It's been a long time since I read the article where they were like, yeah, they're not actually Bigfoot. They're just a dog you don't see very often. Like next time you see a coyote, if it looks weird to you at all, maybe you're looking at a chupacabra. Look at that. Ugh. Guy's got an above ground pool. I think that says a lot about your neighborhood. Not that people shouldn't want to swim, but if you want to swim at home, save your money. Save up so that they can put it in the ground and add to the cost of your home and take away from the eyesore. A Mexican restaurant with two cars in front of it. That makes sense. And the people inside are a black person and a Hispanic person. I wonder if people in Tennessee even really appreciate like Mexican food like that. They don't like Mexicans. I'm sorry if you're from Tennessee and you find that that's prejudicial. Like this vintage streetwear, who is that for? The 8 people of color that are in this Tennessee town? You got all those Jordans. Now, the sports memorabilia, Dukes of Hazzard stuff, that says Tennessee to me. That old boombox, that does not say Tennessee. Oh, okay, good. Because I was like, oh, they do a lot of... okay, everything's making a little bit more sense because I'm like, in Atlanta, they probably have a nice little business. In Tennessee, that business is supplemented by them driving taxis at night. Woo, those toys took me back. If you're old like me, you played with that Bishop toy sitting on the crapper. And the old Wolverine that was yellow and blue looked like the thing from the X-Men animated series, you know. I remember when I was a kid, my mom wanted me to be a man so quickly. She threw away all of my toys when I was 7. And so I would borrow toys from like my best friend. And she caught me playing with the X-Men. I had one of his Power Rangers with the head that flipped up, you know. And she threw away some of his toys. And I was like, Mom, those aren't mine. And she's like, well, stop playing with toys. And I was like, I'm a kid, damn it. I'm a kid. I will let my son have his toys until maybe 8 or 9. I got to see. I don't know. I might be saying to myself, like, I don't know, man. Once you're 4 feet tall, you shouldn't play with toys anymore. Gimme. Because I will say, my friends who did get to continue playing with their toys, they're grown men, and they still collect action figures. I don't know if they're playing with toys, but they are buying them. And, you know, 30-something-year-old me looks at that and judges the fuck out of them. And I love these dudes. She's right. Nobody wants them. You got a lot of moles on your face. Cancer. You're right. They may as well. Also, I don't remember if I discussed I had 3 PCR tests in the last like couple of weeks, but all 3 were within the same week. And I believe you all know how I feel about that thing being jammed into my nose. So there is a woman that works in my organization. She has a medical exemption, so she should never get vaccinated. And She is so terrified because basically now that everybody's vaccinated, we want her to come back into the office. And she is so horrified of having to take weekly tests that she has found saliva PCR tests, and it costs $139 a week from Mount Sinai to get these saliva PCR tests that do get you your results back within 48 hours. But she is willing to pay $139 a week just to not have that thing jammed in her nose. And I didn't even know what to say to her because I was like, that seems crazy. That's a lot of money a month. But at the same time, I really hate every single time they jam it in. Every time is like the first time. My nose is like a woman whose hymen keeps coming back. Solid oak. Yeah, the dude that fat says something's heavy. That thing must weigh 300 pounds. It does look like a beautiful piece of furniture. Does it bother you that it's got some dead man's name etched on it? Like, who are you selling that to? Are you going to like file down his name so that the next person can have their name etched in the prayer wood? Because I'm not praying to William Wykes. That's just me. Yeah, Prius. You got the Prius model I don't like, but it's still a Prius, so I fucking love it. Of course, the Gothic Celtic Goth would be driving the Prius. Her teeth are pretty great for somebody in Tennessee. I'm sorry. I know, I think they're all backwoods savages, but I don't expect them to, put a lot of steak on teeth. And that woman's got gorgeous teeth. Matter of fact, a lot of these people have a lot of their teeth, and I like that. Good for you. She looks like the kid from A Christmas Story grew up and realized he was a woman all along. And I know what the kid from A Christmas Story looks like now that he's full grown. He's a documentarian and seems like a wonderful guy. He looks nothing like she does, but still, let's use our imagination. Like, look at that town. This is where everything bad takes place. Like, this looks like Stranger Things. I'm from LA. But what are you doing in Tennessee? Don't worry about it. I'm minding my business. Gotta be starter. Mmm. I don't know. Going down into their driveway smells like rape. And the fact that she's wearing her coat and hat in this unfinished basement, I can almost feel that it's only 25 degrees down there. You're not wrong. Although I did expect him to pull out a Scarface like t-shirt, but Home Alone will always have a place. Just in case you don't realize just how popular that movie was, does everyone have a Rolling Stone shirt? I certainly do. Um, you may not realize this, but Home Alone was like one of the highest grossing movies, if not the highest grossing movie of all time, for a minute. I think until Jurassic Park came out. Oh shit, we hit pay dirt. How much do you want for this box of hats? I want $1,000. I will give you 150. Did one of you move from LA? Like, was your father a huge Raiders fan? Why do you have this many Raiders hats? I mean, I think she knows what she's got there. Anybody with that many Raiders hats isn't going to give them up for 50 cents. $550. Come down. They're going to make way more than $550. Like, if I'm not wrong, that dude just said he was going to make 200 to 300 a hat. I think you can give her a grand and still make a ton of profit. I'll rub my hands. Mind if I just stay here a while? I'm going in his house. He's about to make me a sandwich. Watching this woman just made me realize I've had Subway too many times in the past week. I think I've had it 3 times over the course of like 8, 9 days. And yes, I live in New York. Why am I eating at Subway? Every time I walk in and there's no one in there, it's a reminder like, you should be going to a deli. But I guess I'm like those people who keep eating McDonald's and they're like, well, it's what I grew up with. And I'm just familiar with Subway. I know it's not meat or bread or even lettuce, but it is $7. Throw that thing away. I can't believe he has a bearded mannequin either. I think he just bought a mannequin and glued a beard to it. I want to see the weirdo who buys that for $100. Run. Just run for the fun of it. Run down the street and run back. With cash. Oh, you were going to write me a check? Because if you were going to write me a check, I want a grand. No, don't take it. But maybe you could just have a couple hats. Flip a coin and you're going to take 300? That's ridiculous. Because half of your chance is you're going to lose out that 150. Why would you ever do that? I would just offer them, like, okay, instead of the whole box, you can have $300 worth of starter hats. Here you are. I'll give you 5. Tails, that's right. Pay the woman. Yeah, you had 450. I deal in dollar bills, gentlemen. Yeah, this was just the starter stuff that I really wanted to get rid of. Got old super soakers, you remember those? Dirty draws that I wore. A lot of men like to, sniff them. 50 bucks a pop. Oh, yeah, they're definitely going to want those. Question is, how much do they offer her? How much does she want for it? They're not lying there. The Jordan 1, I watched something recently that described the history and how that kind of changed everything. Adidas and Converse I believe Converse used to dominate basketball shoes before the Jordan 1 came along. They have to find the other shoe. Excuse me, do you know where this other shoe is? Yeah, we had it bronzed. It's upstairs. Oh, my friend Jose, who has been on an episode before, he was on the tale I told of the man who met death too early. But he had a room. It wasn't weird like this, but it would certainly take your breath away. It was a room of Simpsons memorabilia, like floor to ceiling, every inch of, and it was a good sized room. I'm going to say 12 by 11. He had certain things in like glass cases, glass everywhere, Simpsons everything. It was breathtaking. I would assume that room was probably 60 grand worth of stuff, if not way more. And you killed the little chick and then immediately stuffed it. Oh, okay, good. But again, what killed the chick so young? I mean, he looks pretty pristine. Must have sneezed and just keeled over. Interesting's a word. It probably is. It seems like anything that dies around this dude gets pulled inside and dissected. Right? You got the crucifix. I saw Michael Myers on a pillow. There's a creepy pumpkin back there. I see several creepy pumpkins. What theme are you going with? Mass down there. Now, I have here a lambskin condom from 1971. Never been opened. With the other shoe. Why it's separated, no one knows. But she treated those things like trash. You keep those shoes together. Well, at least it's in about the same condition. I expected it to be like half a shoe. So they want to pay five for it, I'm guessing? Maybe four? Right. I sold cars for a little bit. I have a good idea of how wholesalers think. Let me just Google them on eBay. Oh, okay. What? Oh, okay. I thought when he said do the right thing, he meant like, let's get the fuck out of here. But good for them not trying to rip her off. It seems great until you Google and see what people are going to pay them for what you just gave away for 300. They're gonna get 2 grand. It was good though. That reminded me of there was a cleaning woman at the last company that I worked for. We moved offices and we moved into a much bigger office. They had their own cleaning situation going on, but it was much more expensive than this woman. So I had her come over and she looked at the new office space, which was enormous. And she told her translator that she would clean it for the same price that she was cleaning the much smaller office. And I didn't even need to think about it. I was like, since this is bigger, I don't remember. Let's say she was making 400 a week to clean the old office. And I was like, since this is bigger, why don't we pay you like 725? And she said okay, and that was after she had already agreed to clean it for the same price. But I was like, you can't clean a bigger space for the same amount. Like, it's going to take you longer. Value your time. And now she still texts me. She texted me last week just to see how my family's doing. We've kept in contact because I assume she knew that I was fair and not trying to take advantage of anybody. No, you don't. You don't have to say you like things because someone's handing it to you. What a weird collection you got of all the things that he had to offer. They grabbed the strangest shit. Like the kneeling prayer thing is almost normal compared to everything else that I see out there. Severed heads and taxidermied pets. That that beaver is kind of funny because it looks like he's kind of pointing, but maybe his soul is just saying like, "What did I do? What did I do that when I died, somebody had to put this fucking hat on me?" All right, let's see how much you pay for it. Here comes trouble. I mean, he's right. It's a heavy wooden fucking piece of furniture. Right. Like, you're not slim, but those two can definitely carry that thing more. I believe that. Yeah, we'll be back to get all of your weirdness, and if anything dies, you call us. What? But is she selling these things? Because her store, or no, we didn't catch her in her store. She was shopping somewhere else. Because I'm like, if you're sitting on it, you can't really count those as profit. I mean, that doll will give something nightmares. A little boy or a little girl or maybe even a fucking dog. But anything's better than two-headed things. Takes you back to Forrest Gump, doesn't it? My magic legs. I prefer magic legs over polio shoes. Polio shoes just kind of fucking bumps me out. Plus, they're so small. There was a kid walking around or trying in those. They're strange, man. Two-headed chick, polio shoes. Oh, that fat dude calling that thing heavy if it's only 400 pounds doesn't make any sense. That's one of your tits, sir. All right. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed that episode as much as I did. Don't worry. We got another thing coming for the whole Thanksgiving spirit of things. But stay tuned. Let me know what you thought, and feel free. Hit me up. I have heard from a couple of the listeners lately. I greatly appreciate it. The reviews that I've seen are positive. I appreciate that too. And yeah, stay tuned. I got something else coming up right after this. Let's see it.